Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the Sedge Crochet Stitch. This is a really easy one row repeat. It is a combination of the single crochet, half double crochet, and a double crochet in the same stitch. If you're not familiar with how to do those stitches, I will have links down in the description below for video tutorials on how to do those. Otherwise, I'm going to assume that you already know how to do those stitches. Once you get the hang of this, folks, it is actually really easy and a whole lot of fun. All right, so let's get started on row number 1. Your multiple for the sedge stitch is a multiple of 3. So I have 15 chains here, and I'm going to start with the third chain from my hook. Now remember, the one loop on your hook doesn't count, so I'll count down 1, 2, and 3. And in that third chain, I'm going to put my first half double crochet. Those 2 chains that we skipped are going to count as our first single crochet. So technically I have a single crochet and a half double crochet, and working in that same stitch, I'm going to put a double crochet. So yarning over, insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is my first sedge stitch. So now I have a single crochet, half double crochet, and a double crochet. So I'm going to skip 2 chains. Working in the third chain, I'm going to put a single crochet, a half double crochet in the same stitch, and a double crochet in the same stitch. That's all there is to it. So again, I'm going to skip 2 chains, and in the third chain, I'm going to add a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. All right, one more time. Skip 2 chains. In the third chain, do a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. And you're going to repeat this all the way across your row. So it doesn't matter how long your starting chain is. This is the stitch repeat that you're going to do all the way across until you get to the last 3 chains in your starting chain. If you do not, then you're going to have to go back and check. So remember that chain 2 that we skipped at the beginning counts as our first single crochet. Then we have a half double crochet and a double crochet in the same stitch. Skip 2 chains. In the third chain, single crochet, half double, double crochet in the same stitch, and then you just repeat that till the end of your row, and then you have 3 chains left. I have 3 chains left, so I'm going to finish off my row with a single crochet, and then I'm going to chain 2 and turn. Technically, you can chain 1 and turn. I prefer a chain 2 and turn because it'll lift that single crochet on row number 2 up just a little bit higher. It'll be a little bit easier to work in the future. I'll show you what I'm talking about right here. Okay, so that chain 2 or a chain 1 counts as your first stitch. It's going to count as a single crochet. So in that stitch, I'm going to work a half double crochet, and in the same stitch, a double crochet. And this is worked in the top of that single crochet from the row below. Now I'm going to skip 2 chains and work into the third one, which is also the single crochet from the row below. And you can kind of tell the difference. That double crochet next to my right hand is a little bit taller. Then there's the half double. And then that little shorty there that actually looks like it has a pretty wide gap. That's your single crochet. So you work right into that with a single crochet, half double crochet, and a double crochet, and that's all there is to it. You're going to continue to repeat this all the way across the row. Okay, so let me show you how to finish row number 2. This is the row you're going to repeat until you get to the length that you want. This is why I like having that chain 2, because you need to skip 2 stitches at the end, and you need to work in to, in this case, it'd be those chain 2s that we skipped on our foundation row without having that extra height from that extra chain. This can kind of get lost. If you miss this stitch, your rows are going to be off. So having that chain 2 really helps lift that up and makes it a little bit easier to work into, and then also you're less likely to miss it. All right, so from here on out, you're going to repeat this until you get to the length that you want. So just make sure that you're working your cluster of stitches in those single crochets from the row below. Now I'm going to show you how to change color. Super duper easy. I'm at the end of my row. I need to work into that last stitch with my single crochet. So I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then I'm just going to put my new color on my hook here. And then I will pull that through both of those loops on my hook. I'm going to make sure that my tail is secure so when I chain 2 and turn, it doesn't pull out. You can either carry your first color up the sides of your work, or you can cut that off and weave in your ends, and then you're good to go. Now from here on out, you're just going to continue on like you did with row number 2. And that's it, folks. That's really all there is to it. That's totally easier than what it looks. And that's all there is for me today. If you missed anything, feel free to go back and rewatch. I will have a link down in the description below for written instructions for the Sedge Stitch in the Ruby Grace blog, as well as links to patterns featuring the Sedge Stitch in the Ruby Grace shop. Thanks so much for stopping by. Love your face.